cold-blooded.
One shot to the back of the head.
A detective that never gives up.
To have that stamina to just grind and go, it's something else.
Must connect the dots.
That was like Pandora's box. The investigation just started opening up.
You have surveillance.
Behind a carefully planned and coordinated murder plot.
There's the cone.
Yeah.
They're shopping for the tools they need to kill a man.
But one small mistake.
I think I found something.
Leads police to the suspects.
If you didn't shoot this guy, this is the time to say it.
And a showdown to uncover the truth.
This brother wanted to give it up.
No, how hard it's gonna be with a sneak tag?
We're like, nah, you gotta be kidding me.
We're 30 minutes north of Atlanta in Alpharetta, Georgia. This is a very affluent area that some call the Beverly Hills of the South. Violent crime in Alpharetta is very low, and the occurrence of a homicide is even lower.
And that's why a disturbing call to police in 2016 was so unusual.
What's the address of your emergency?
It's Wade Creek. Need to send someone right away. There are shots fired inside. Have somebody right away.
When police arrive to respond to this call of gunfire coming from the area, they find this door open.
Once officers are on call and they make the interior of the dwelling safe, they notice a black male dead on the floor. That's when they freeze the scene, because now they're calling in homicide. No one else comes in till the homicide units arrive on call.
So Alpharetta police have a phenomenal detective named Ja'Kai Braithwaite in homicide. He takes this case. I know him personally. This guy is the real deal.
I wanted to be an investigator because I wanted a challenge. I want to do what others may not want to do. I want to put the work in. I'm a Jersey boy, a native of New Jersey. My dad was a federal police officer, and it was clear to me that my career path, once I graduated college, was going to be in public safety. December of 1999 was when I was hired by the Alpharetta Police Department. I ended up going to detectives. I think it's a special, unique calling because many are called, but only few are chosen to be a detective.
The victim is a black male, late teens to early 20s.
They don't know who the victim is. He's unidentified. All they know is an older gentleman owns the property by the name of Walter Berry. Clearly, that's not Walter Berry on the floor.
We've got call-outs to the homeowner.
Ja'Kai's partner, Dave Bokniak, quickly meets him at the scene.
You ready to do this?
Always.
We definitely have a really close bond. Every homicide Detective Botniak and I that we worked, to date, it's been solved.
I saw it.
You could see this traffic cone right there in the doorway. We were like, what the hell's up with the cone?
Is that ours?
It was here before we arrived.
We'll bookmark it for now. Find us some other witnesses.
I knew there was going to be some significance to that cone.
They head into the kitchen of the residence, and that's where they find the victim, a young black male, face down in a pool of blood.
Damn. He was on his side, and he had a gunshot wound to his head. There was a bar stool that he was tied up to.
This victim was kneeling down and shot in the back of the head. That speaks nothing but a straight-up execution.
What is that? Looks like power cables.
He was wrapped up with like a piece of computer cord or some kind of cord that was in the house.
One shot to the back of the head. We find any shell casings? Did the killer pick up his brass?
No. We were pretty certain it was probably a revolver that was used to shoot the kid.
He's just a kid.
This hit me a little different because I had recently found out that I'm going to be a father.
You good?
I'm about to celebrate a life, and here this life is gone, and I'm thinking like, wow, like I just can't imagine what the family's gonna go through.
Detectives, I've got some witnesses for you.
Go. I'll handle the crime scene. Okay.
Jakai meets the next door neighbors, John and Erica Williams. Turns out John and Erica are the actual 911 callers. So bam, right now Jakai's clicking.
I can't believe this happened to Kadarius.
He's your neighbor?
Jakai learns that the victim is 21-year-old Kadarius Medlock.
Yeah, he lives there with his uncle, Walter Berry.
Tell me more about the crime.
It happened around 9:30 this morning.
Erica had just arrived home. She sees our victim standing on the front porch. He saw her, they knew one another. He waved, she pulled into the garage.
And then about 15 minutes later, I heard 2 gunshots.
Erica described looking out her front window, seeing a black male exit the house and enter the back seat of the vehicle that was pulled into the driveway of her neighbor's house. And then they drove off.
Describe the guy.
He was bald.
He's got a white dust mask on. In my opinion, detective-wise, that's him concealing his face, not wanting anyone to see what he looks like.
Describe the car.
It was maroon in color.
She said she believed it was like a Hyundai or Honda.
If you think of anything else.
She just gave a great jumping off spot.
What'd you find out?
We made contact with the homeowner.
One of the detectives contacted him and learned that he was actually in Dallas, Texas at the time. He immediately got on a plane and flew home.
He's gonna come to the office this afternoon. The other thing is, there are signs of a robbery.
The main bedroom upstairs was completely ransacked. You start asking yourself, what's going on here?
This whole thing looks like a home invasion murder.
Let's find out who else we can speak with.
Jakai and Dave also find one other witness that reported seeing suspicious activity around the townhome.
I thought he was just doing street work.
He saw a black male walking around the townhome wearing one of those traffic vests, and he had in his possession a traffic cone.
When he told us the traffic cone, and obviously we saw it inside the residence, we were like, okay. So these jokers were using that traffic cone to disguise themselves as construction workers.
What do you look like?
Young, maybe in his 20s, short hair.
According to this witness, the man in the traffic vest later comes out of the house and got into the maroon car, and the maroon car speeds away.
All right, thank you.
We definitely, at that point, were starting to try to connect some of the dots.
Hey, what's up? What's happening? This is my friend's house.
Relax.
He was asking, what's going on? This is our friend, this is our friend.
His name is Ezekiel Mott, and he claims to be Kadarius's friend.
We want to know what's up.
I see a small maroon car.
This right here is a totally unbelievable moment. Did the killers just return to the scene of the crime?
We need to ask you some questions.
This investigation is about to take a crazy turn.
What is that?
Looks like power cables.
Alpharetta, Georgia, homicide detective Jakai Braithwaite is investigating the murder of 21-year-old Kadarius Medlock.
Describe the guy.
He was bald,
Witnesses identified 3 suspects in the case and a getaway car.
It was maroon in color.
Witnesses solve crimes. We definitely have a good start in place.
Hey, what's happening? This is my friend's house.
Relax.
While Jakai was at the crime scene, the victim's friend Ezekiel arrives.
We want to know what's up.
And he happens to be in a car that looks just like the one the suspects drove.
We need to ask you some questions.
Was this a situation where a jealous friend murdered his boy, or what?
Why are you here?
Friend texted me about it.
You may have situations where suspects return to the crime scene to watch, to see what's going on.
Is that your car?
My girl's right.
The biggest thing was the car. That small maroon car, we definitely were honing in on that.
We want to talk to you at the station.
We had to ask questions, and we did just that.
Jakai brought Ezekiel and his girlfriend back to the precinct for questioning. He also asked Erica Williams, the witness who had the best look at the suspect's car, to also come in.
Erica looked at the actual car and told Jakai that it's either the car or a car that looks exactly like it. Between the car match and Ezekiel having a similar description to one of the suspects, it was time to turn up the heat.
During the interview with Ezekiel, the young man denied involvement in his friend's death. In fact, he provided Jakai with an alibi. He said he was shopping at the time of the murder.
Between phone records and eyewitnesses, Ezekiel was cleared of any wrongdoing. It turned out that it was a crazy coincidence that Kadarius' friend had the same type of car as the killers.
That was ME's office. The case was ruled a homicide by gunshot, and the caliber bullet was a .38.
Walter Berry's here.
Kadarius' uncle arrives back in town. As they meet face to face, Jakai's totally surprised. He knows the uncle.
I knew him by W, like, hey, what's up, W? You know, but I had an idea when I heard the name Walter Berry that that was an individual who I had known from the gym and through a circle of friends.
So sorry for your loss.
Of course, he was wrecked. He started telling us some of the victimology about his nephew.
Darius was like my son.
His nephew was from Memphis. He came to live with him a few years ago. He worked at a local restaurant, which he would walk to every day.
He was going to school, and he just turned 21.
That time, we're learning, like, wow, this was a good kid.
Was he beefing with anyone? No.
I want to know, is your nephew into anything?
He didn't run around in the bad crowd.
At this point, Jakai and Dave got to look at the uncle cross-eyed a little bit and see what's going on.
What about you?
I'm wondering, you mixed up in something?
You know me.
Just answer the question.
Even though they're social and they know some of the same friends, it doesn't matter. Jakai has a duty.
Just tell the truth. Look, I don't know anything.
I said, listen, I don't really care what you're into right now. Right now, my goal is to figure out what happened to your nephew.
This wasn't because of me, I swear. I want to find out who did this too.
What was taken from your bedroom?
I made a list.
The uncle goes on and gives Jakai a long laundry list of items, very expensive items.
A lot of his watches were taken. He had a Gucci scarf that was inside his Louis Vuitton bag, and the duffel bag actually even had his initials on the handle of it.
They stole a PlayStation, some cash too, and my gun. What kind of gun? A .40 caliber.
It's not the murder weapon.
There was a semi-automatic, and we believe the murder weapon was a revolver.
Again, I'm sorry for your loss, man.
We knew we were dealing with a burglary/home invasion, but we couldn't understand why the death, why the murder. We believe we're dealing with 3 suspects. And we're like, all right, what do we have to focus on? What's up with this cone?
Look, man, there's not even a mark on it.
This cone was a brand new cone.
It still has the barcode sticker on it.
Maybe we can find out where it was sold.
We actually researched the name brand on the cone.
I'm a detective in Georgia.
We discovered that this company, the only place in the Southeast that they distributed to was Lowe's.
There's a Lowe's less than 3 miles away from Kadarius's home. What are the odds they bought it here?
This orange cone could crack the case.
Let's roll. Look, man, there's not even a mark on it.
Detective Ja'Kai Braithwaite has just caught a break in the Kadarius Medlock murder case.
Maybe we can find out where it was sold.
Ja'Kai finds out that the safety cone left at the crime scene is only sold at the home improvement store Lowe's.
Let's roll.
We were thinking that, whoa, maybe there is something here.
On April 23rd, 2016, just 2 days after the murder, Ja'Kai and his partner go to Lowe's, hoping to stir up a lead on the case.
As soon as we walk into Lowe's, smacked us right in the face. What do we see?
Is this for real?
They have a display stand of all of that safety equipment. Traffic cones, work vests, traffic vests, dust masks. I definitely got excited. I was like, yeah.
He knows that these killers probably stopped at this Lowe's, purchased that cone, which means there's gonna be a receipt, transaction, and video.
Ja'Kai and Dave have to find out if and when that cone was actually purchased in this Lowe's store.
It looks like the cone was bought on the 21st at 8:41 a.m.
That's an hour before the murder.
They bought other stuff too.
He tells us not only was that cone purchased, but a dust mask and a traffic vest.
This is a detective's dream. This is Christmas Day at Lowe's. I mean, bam.
How's it paid for?
With a credit card.
This is when my partner and I almost high-fiving each other. We're playing the cool though, right?
They're on a roll. So now for the cherry on top moment.
You have surveillance?
Yeah, come take a look.
That was like Pandora's box. The investigation just started opening up. There he is.
Ja'Kai.
Vince, what's going on,
man? We met with Ja'Kai and his partner, Dave Bokniak, to take a look at the Lowe's surveillance video.
So you're in the store, the manager is helping. He's actually jumping in there, giving you stuff with no pushback.
I'm jumping out of my seat. We couldn't get back there to go look at that video quick enough.
So let's take a look at it.
Okay. So this is the cash register. We see these two guys approach, and they both match the description, albeit a vague description from the witnesses, but they match the description.
Oh, so the two guys, white T-shirt and black T-shirt.
Right. So when I'm seeing this, we're like, yo, this is our guy. This is the dude.
There's the cone.
Yeah.
So they're literally shopping to get items that they need to commit a murder. They're shopping for the tools they need to kill a man. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that. So at this point in the video, you're considering these guys could be any of the 3 suspects.
Exactly.
Right?
And in fact, yeah, we don't know who is who.
I love the quality of the video. It shows the exchange between these two brothers. They were setting your story up and making it look pretty.
It's a phenomenal moment.
It felt good. Yeah, I mean, of course, we don't know who these actors are, right? But we knew we got something. So we're in the game now. You actually see these two brothers walk out of the store and they walk right over to the car, which actually fit the description of, the car given by our witnesses. And you see him, look at him, he's still holding a cone. Actually, when we ended up sending this cone off to the GBI to be analyzed.
I specifically told them to look inside the rim of the cone for DNA.
You got at least 2 of the 3 guys on the roll call that you're looking for. What do you do next to try to move this case forward?
At this point, we know we have a credit card associated with this, so we know we're gonna start rolling, we know we're gonna start doing.
The account was open about 6 weeks ago, but now it's closed.
We contact the credit card company. They immediately let us know, yes, this was a fairly new account.
Who owned the account?
The name is Tyrese Donaldson.
I'll run his info.
The name comes with everything. It comes with addresses. It comes with race. You may get a look at your person of interest or your suspects by close of business.
It's a fake identity.
The name on a credit card was one person. The information belonged to another person.
He made a lot of purchases before the account was closed.
Can you send us a list with all the transactions?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
We weren't discouraged. We knew that there was a good chance doors were going to start opening. We are looking and analyzing all of these transactions.
They racked up $13,000 worth of charges all over the metro area. And every purchase on that card presents an opportunity for Jakai and Dave to identify who is actually using the card.
Restaurants, nightclubs, electronic stores.
As Jakai and Dave are going through all of these transactions, there's one that really stands out.
Hold up. Check this out.
It was a bill paid, insurance bill paid for an insurance company. So then we sent subpoenas to this insurance company for subscriber information related to that, and we get the name of a female.
This is an auto policy. The holder's name is Melanie Pounds.
So we're like, what's the connection with this female? She's connected to our guy. We know as investigators that suspects do that, right? Everything is through their mother or through their girlfriend.
Probably your girlfriend.
And there is a secondary driver listed on the policy. Jamel Ganes.
We run that person's name and we get name, date of birth, we get a driver's license photo. The driver's license photo of who was listed as a secondary driver is the black male, bald head, bushy beard.
This is more than a good lead. This is straight butter.
This is the guy from the surveillance video.
Jakai and Dave had just identified their very first suspect.
Is this for real?
Detective Jakai Braithwaite traces the cone recovered from the crime scene to a nearby store.
We see these two guys approach the cash register.
Surveillance video at the store provides detectives with a glimpse of two of the suspects.
Hold up. Check this out.
A suspicious transaction on the suspect's fraudulent credit cards provides police with a name. Jamel Ganes.
This is the guy from the surveillance video.
This is a major break in the case. They finally found a legitimate name and identity to work with.
We were excited. That was another aha moment for us. We just identified our first suspect, but we were just moving. We knew we just had, a lot of work to do.
Instead of immediately arresting Jamel Ganes, Jakai and his partner took a more methodical approach.
They dove into Jamel's background and discovered that he lived in an apartment complex in Atlanta.
Further digging uncovered his cell phone number. Detectives quickly subpoenaed the phone records
in hope that it would lead to the identity of the other suspects.
Phone records came in.
You have phone records called detail report. And you're looking for frequency in calling, like the most called number or top callers.
I'm seeing two numbers that stick out.
Let me track him and see if they match up, okay?
We're not just analyzing phone logs, we're analyzing cell towers, right? So we're getting movements of these numbers.
These three, they belong together.
We can see the movements and GPS coordinates and with the towers that these phones are bouncing off of, just putting them into Alpharetta.
And that was in the night before the murder.
We see that these individuals are in one central location.
They're at Jamal's condo.
Electronically, it's like watching a movie.
This is the morning of...
We see those phones, they start to move together, going toward the same location.
They can see them travel on a map from their home to the Lowe's, to the crime scene, and then back home.
Damn, this is unbelievable.
Check this out.
One of the unique things about all three of these numbers is that these individuals leading up weeks prior to the homicide, their phones never show a history of ever going to the city of Alpharetta.
So why did they go to his house?
Maybe they got tipped off that there are like valuable things to steal. I don't know.
At that point, we felt pretty certain that those were going to be our suspects.
Run the other two numbers.
First comes back to Michael Dawson. Here we go.
We see his driver's license photograph, and we're like, oh.
That's the guy that had the comb.
The getaway driver.
We believe that, yeah, Michael Dawson is going to be the individual who actually went into Lowe's Wicked Nest.
Now they've ID'd both suspects from the Lowe's video. This is all coming together.
And the last guy?
Last number belongs to Dontravius Mahone.
I thought he was just doing street work.
It appears they have identified all 3 suspects in the case.
What I can't figure out, the car. None of them own the vehicle.
Wait a sec.
One of the numbers that Jakai and his partner Dave discovered were on these call detail reports was from Prestige Auto.
Prestige Auto.
Let's check this place out.
This could be the final piece of the puzzle.
Hey, y'all need a rental today?
This is a place you can actually rent and pay for these cars in cash.
So how can I help y'all today? Where was Alpharetta PD? Okay. All right, just give me 1 minute.
Right now, Jakai and Dave want to know what vehicles were rented from Prestige Auto around the time of the murder.
I think I found something.
They learned that the phone number associated with the suspect rented a maroon Hyundai Accent 2 days before the homicide and then returned it on the day of the homicide.
Just follow me.
Are you effing kidding me right now? This has got to be the place.
There it is. A Hyundai Accent.
That's the maroon car.
It was like crazy.
They got him. It's arrest warrant time right now.
Phone records came in.
Detective Jakai Braithwaite is one step closer to solving the Kadarius Medlock homicide.
That's the guy that had the comb.
The getaway driver.
Jakai and his partner appear to have identified all 3 suspects.
So how can I help y'all today?
On top of that, they find the place that the getaway car was rented from.
There it is.
We end up finding what kind of car it was.
A Hyundai Accent.
This case is about to be closed.
Who rented this car?
A woman named Sharon Jones.
The car was probably rented to the suspect's girlfriend. That's common. They get a girl to do it, and then the girl gives them the car, they go commit the crime, give it back to her, she turns the car in, no one knows the difference.
I can tell you exactly where they drove it.
How?
We track them so nobody steals them.
So they actually have their vehicles equipped with a hidden GPS.
Give me the GPS data.
Yeah, sure thing.
Right now, it's time for Jakai and Dave to just bring the case on home. Between the witness statements, surveillance video, phone, and GPS records, Jakai had a mountain of evidence connecting all 3 suspects to the murder.
Further digging revealed that a girlfriend of suspect Dontravius Mahone helped rent the car for them.
The final cherry on top was the DNA for Michael Dawson, the man they believed to be the getaway driver, was found on the cone.
At this point, arrest warrants were issued for the suspects. Now all they had to do was take them into custody.
On the morning of June 28, 2016, they put together a plan.
Police search warrant!
We had 3 suspects in 3 different counties.
Jakai's in Atlanta, Dave is in Clayton County, and another detective from Alpharetta is in DeKalb County. Literally, like looking at their watches and saying, go. All 3 agencies hit these 3 houses at the exact same time.
Police, get your hands up.
Hey, hands up!
And what's crazy about this simultaneous operation, they hit this house and suspect Dontravius Mahone actually goes for a gun.
Go!
Clayton County SWAT, they don't play around.
They recovered the gun and they took Dontravius into custody without incident.
I ain't do nothing, man.
Ja'Kai arrests Jamel Ganesh without any incident.
Take him away.
I was speaking to Ganesh, then fairly quickly said he didn't want to talk.
What's up, brother?
We've got some evidence.
Nice.
There were crucial pieces of evidence that we were able to connect back to these actors from evidence that was actually stolen from the victim's house.
Any updates from the guy?
Yeah, Michael Dawson is in cuffs.
In the room he was staying at the time that he was arrested, the Louis Vuitton bag with the victim's initials were found.
What about Mahomes?
He's got cold feet.
At this point, Ja'Kai and Dave are just crazy AF. They feel like they've done everything they need to do on this case. They've got every rudimentary piece of evidence needed to keep these guys away for the rest of their lives.
As Ja'Kai is wrapping up, he gets a phone call.
Ja'Kai.
You need to come down here right now.
It's the detective that arrested Michael Dawson.
He's like, yo, he's talking.
All right, I'm on my way.
Ja'Kai's like, damn, I'm gonna get my full confession.
Police start fire!
A coordinated raid leads to the arrest of all three suspects in the Kadarius Medlock homicide investigation.
I ain't do nothing, man. Take him away.
Ja'Kai and his team believe they have enough for a successful prosecution.
You need to come down here right now.
Michael Dawson, who Ja'Kai believes is the getaway driver, this brother wants to talk.
I'm on my way.
Even though he's got a mountain of evidence in the case, Ja'Kai wants more. He wants a confession.
Detectives go to the DeKalb County Police Department where Michael Dawson is being held.
Detective Dave Bokniak and another detective take the first stab at Dawson.
I want to show you some pictures, okay?
Dawson admits that he knows Jamel Ganesh and Dontravius Mahone.
You had been in Alpharetta in a burgundy vehicle?
Yeah.
He's putting himself with these guys in the car on the day of the murder in Alpharetta.
He talked about going to Lowe's.
What'd you get at Lowe's?
I think like some goggles, a vest, and what you call them?
Traffic cone?
Yeah, traffic cone.
Where'd you guys go from there?
We met Money.
Where was that at?
That was at Publix.
He said they went to Publix instead of going to the actual home. His reason they went to Publix was because they were buying drugs from somebody named Money.
What did Money look like?
I don't know.
Who knew him?
I guess Jamil.
How much did he buy?
Probably like a £1/4.
Dawson denies any involvement in the murder. He doesn't put himself there.
I don't know who killed him, man. I would tell you if I knew.
Right now, this is a game of total BS.
Do you know what he bought the traffic cone and that stuff for?
No.
Did you think it was weird that he was purchasing those items? I mean, didn't mention anything about him?
No.
He basically admitted to everything that went on in Alpharetta except going to the house. But he replaced the house with the place they went to Publix, and they dealt with a guy named Money for some kind of drug deal.
Right now, the interview's done. They take old Dawson back to Alpharetta PD and book him. At this point, Ja'Kai decides to take a run at Dawson himself.
Although you watch TV and you know cops bull lie, this here, man. That Louis bag that was in your closet, where'd you get that from?
Sent to me.
Dawson did say that was given to him from Ganesh.
Can I tell you something? The victim's initials are on the Hey, did you notice that? So you see how things are connecting to you, right?
I said, I know what you did. I know how you did it. I just don't know why you did it. I just need you, break it down to me.
I didn't pull the trigger.
Okay, so tell me about this then. What went down? What happened?
I tell you, man, this brother wanted to give it up.
I want them to get it on my chest. That's what I want.
Okay.
But he didn't.
You know how hard it's gonna be to be in a state camp with a snitch tag? Man, hell no.
He basically just said, I can't snitch because he's like, it won't serve me well when I go to jail. He wanted to talk, but he just would not.
Even though Jakai didn't get a confession or a clear motive, he's got a good idea of what went down that day.
They came to that zip code for the lick. The lick is a robbery. They probably had some kind of intel.
I believe that there was something associated with the uncle that enticed and interested these three actors.
After picking up the car and the supplies at Lowe's, they headed straight for the townhouse.
We think that they used their disguise to blend in and not bring attention to themselves.
It appears that Mahone and Ganesh are the ones that actually went into the house, and Dawson stayed in the car. They're going, we did our surveillance and nobody's supposed to be there. What if they're there? We're still going to carry out the lick, hence taking a firearm.
This kid was supposed to be working this day and wasn't doing that. As soon as they made contact with him, they immediately tied him up. They tied him up with a cord that was already in that house. So I don't think they were really prepared for him. Probably one of them were paying attention to him while the other one ransacked the house, stealing and burglarizing some items. I believe it was Mahomes who took the shots, which struck our victim, Kadarius Medlock, in the head, causing his death. And then they immediately went to the car. Our reason on why they killed this kid, again, I can't tell you. Maybe they were afraid that he saw them and that he would give them up. Or, just maybe they're just straight up, monsters.
This is the worst of the worst. We're talking about a victim, wrong place, wrong time. But if he wasn't at home or picked up that extra work that day, he'd still be here today.
Jamel Ganesh, Dontravius Mahone, and Michael Dawson are all charged with the murder of Kadarius Medlock.
In December 2018, the Fulton County DA's office takes them to trial. They're all found guilty. And all three are sentenced to life in prison. I love the work y'all did in this case. I've never seen a file that thick.
And the DA's office actually honored us as investigators or officers of the year and gave us this award for solving this case. And it's funny, they actually put it right here, in a traffic cone in the case here for us. But
That's awesome. I love it.
Nice touch.
So it was nice to be honored for the work.
Congratulations. Well deserved.
You ready to do this? Always.
When I look back on this case, I look at how the process was for Jakai and for his partner, Dave.
Is that your car? It's my girl's ride.
They took their time. They could have rushed in, put handcuffs on everybody before all the good evidence came in.
Looks like the cone was bought on the 21st.
They sat there with their lines in the water.
There it is.
And waited on three big fish to land up on the dock.
Police start guard!
It was a beautiful case.
Guys, thank you so much for meeting with us, man. This case was incredible, and we really appreciate it.
Loved it.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
My brother.
Good to see you.